Hi guys, it's the evening, it's about 10 o'clock at night. It's been an incredible busy day today as we're approaching Christmas, and that's partly why I've delayed the TurnsPro and Andoer Slider review, because I've had so much on. So sorry about that, but let's get started. So here we have the Andoer Slider and the TurnsPro time-lapse camera mount. Now I'm doing these two items together because in many ways, apart from being a time-lapse camera mount, it can be used for filming, which I intend to do, use it mainly for filming when you're doing the smooth pans, which are near enough impossible to get really smooth when you're doing it by hand. So it's an incredible machine, but at a very reasonable price. So let's have a look at it. Let's look at the slider first. So the Andoer Slider, when I went to the photography show in Birmingham earlier this year, in March I think it was, the cheapest slider that I found, the cheapest of the cheap available there, was £100, which may not be a lot to many people, but to me it was out of my range. And while they all were incredibly smooth sliders, it's just not affordable to me, as I don't make money off my filmmaking, because I'm just an amateur. I do it for a pastime, even though I love it and do a lot of photography and some video. So this Andoer Slider, I chose this because I have an Andoer video head which is attached now, and I've done a review. So check back through the videos, you'll see it, and that was very good quality for the price. And to be honest, this slider is not bad as well. I did have a few issues initially because it wasn't running very smooth, so I had to get some dry silicone, not WD-40, dry silicone spray, and just work it into the system. Even now, when I first started off, I have to loosen it up properly, that's better. It's not bad. I can't use it for audio, as you can probably hear the noise. However, just for motion shots and audio then dubbed over, it's more than good enough for me. It's just nice and smooth, as you can see. Right, so let's start with the slider. The slider is around about £60. It varies on Amazon. It's a full metal construction, very strong. I'm not sure. Yes, they feel like metal. Full metal construction. Have 4 bearings inside which run along the track. Some don't have that, and they use a different system with plastic bearings, but I've heard where the plastic bearings have broken when the slider's been dropped accidentally. That was something I didn't want because it's a waste of money. These are solid steel bearings, and with a bit of help of dry silicone paste, they're pretty smooth. The noise is still there, and I don't think I'm ever going to get rid of that. Oops, it kept tightened up, but it is smooth. Now there's an adjustment on the side where you can tighten it, and this is not going to move. So if you want to do it at an angle, you can hold the camera. You loosen it. It's got a bubble level on the top. It's incredibly strong. When folded, it can be folded up, and it's about this. It's not going to get any much smaller than I think it's a 60 centimeter slider I bought here. So it's just enough to give me some movement in my videos when doing video work, which is really important sometimes because it adds that extra element to it. If you're just doing straight still shots all the time, it can become rather boring. So that's that. Nothing much to talk about. It's a great slider, solid steel construction, and it has 2 rails that the 4 ball bearings run across. Also, yes, it has 3 sets of tripod mounts, 2 different sizes in 3 areas. It's separated in thirds, so you can angle at different points. It hasn't got any at the end. It's got 1 tripod mount at the end of each side, so you can hook it on the end. And I'll actually do another video and show you how different ways to use a slider, because it's just not like this. If you have the right tools or the right practice, you can use it as a, let me just do it roughly for you, for different angle shots. if adopted the right side end on a tripod, you can do it as use it as a crane. So a slider has a lot of flexibility, and I've spoken to many videographers and they say apart from the camera and tripod, one of the most important tools to have is a slider. But the real star of today's review is the TurnsPro time-lapse machine. Now the reason why I found this incredibly enticing is because only a couple of months ago I reviewed the Syrup Genie Mini, which was a roughly a 300 pound piece of gear that's used for time-lapse and for panning. Had a hell of a lot of flexibility and functionality, had smartphone functionality and a number of presets. Now I'm not going into it too much because you can see the review, you can see the video at the end of this video. You can click on it and it'll take you straight there. But that was a 300 pound piece of gear. Now if you can do without the smartphone functionality, this TurnsPro does basically the same thing. One caveat, this can only hold up to 1 kilogram in weight, so you are looking at a small camera like a G7 or GH1 with lens, so it's not going to be good for your big heavy video cameras, which I think the Syrup Genie Mini can hold a lot of weight. But that aside, for not the big professionals, for someone looking to do video work with a small camera or a GH1, even my Fuji X-T10, which is quite heavy, was able to pan with this TurnsPro machine. So if you're a videographer with a small camera under a kilo in weight, this offers a lot of functionality. Let's go through it. Guys, I'm just going to turn the screen off because it's more clear on the camera. So we have 3 buttons: the mode button, the power button, and the enter button. Same as you have a keyboard, the enter, same symbol. As you can see, turns is flashing up at the moment. I'm going to press the mode button, it's going to pull up with degrees. So you have 2 options there, turns and degrees, but we're going to use turns this time. Now if I enter, that will come to clockwise or anti-clockwise. You can change that by the mode button again, then you enter your choice. And now it's asking for how many turns. Use the mode button to increase or decrease. Enter again. It's quite simple. Hours, we're not going to do that, it could take too long. Minutes as well, and we're just going to leave it as seconds. Press enter and you see the motor turning. As you can see, it's very smooth, incredibly quiet, and can be used. It gives you that usability factor, whereas the Syrup Genie Mini, the motor, while it's more powerful, was incredibly noisy, so using audio was not an option. But this, now I've set it for 20 seconds, so it will keep going on for 20 seconds. As you can see, I've fitted it on with the phone mount, so it keeps going and it will stop at 20 seconds. Right, so let's switch it back on, and this time I'm going to choose degrees. As you can see, it comes up 15. Now it's flashing whether you want it to go one way or backwards and forwards. If I press the mode button, you see it flash backwards and forwards. That means it can go backwards and forwards continuously, clockwise start with or anti-clockwise. Now it's asking for how many degrees, and you can enter how many you want and press enter, and the same thing again, just enter to what you want. Increase it with the mode button, enter with the enter button. Simple as that, 2 buttons. Now you can see. Now we'll have to say, when it had turns, it looked like it was doing numerous turns, but actually, because that's on the small circumference, when you've got a camera and it's turning round try. It's actually on the big circumference, so it is one turn. It is confusing when it's doing like that. So to conclude, you can see there's a lot of flexibility, and for the price of, if it is still between £50 and 70, because I don't know if it's still on sale, I will put a link to the Amazon item so you can have a look for yourself. For £50, depending on what you want to do, this can be an incredibly useful machine that is proven to be quieter than the Syrup Genie Mini, which so you can use it and film audio at the same time, which I couldn't with the Syrup Genie Mini. And if you're not looking for smartphone connectivity, then you've got a great item here, great bit of gear that can do relatively the same job that the Syrup Genie Mini can do, but for nearly, let's say a quarter of the price, with the caveat that your camera doesn't weigh over a kg with its lens. So that's which is fine for most cameras, most DSLRs, small DSLRs and mirrorless cameras. So that's the TurnsPro time-lapse mount, and you got the slider here. Again, I will put the link to this machine. I will have to again, a little note, I did have to get this really smooth by using dry silicone spray, so it isn't just take it out of the box and use it straight away, but then you're only paying £60, and also it's not a slider that you're going to be able to tape audio on. So given your needs and requirements, this may or may not be for you, but you have to decide for yourself. For me, it's the perfect combination, a slider that works and is relatively smooth, and with the right techniques, because there are techniques at using sliders, I'm able to get the movement and motion in my video, which I wasn't able to go before. Added to the TurnsPro, I'm able to even slide and pan at the same time, which I don't know, I could never achieve that. Not any smooth, not with a smooth motion. This is so smooth and quiet. I think it's got to be a winner. So that's the TurnsPro, the Andoer Slider. I'll stick a couple of videos at the end of this video. I was trying to do a time lapse, but it was pouring down and it just couldn't. I just couldn't get it working in the dark, so I did a video. Hope you guys like it. Do keep a lookout for the next video. I'm going to be reviewing another product, and I'm going to be looking at native lenses compared to vintage manual lenses, and whether it's worth investigating and perhaps investing in some vintage manual lenses for your modern camera. Anyway guys, thanks for watching. I do appreciate all your time. Do give me a thumbs up. If you don't like it, give thumbs down, but I really do prefer a thumbs up, so hope you like it. Do subscribe. I'm looking to build more subscribers so I can get more products. It's a sort of self-perpetuating motion. You get more subscribers, people give you more products. So do subscribe, and I hope to see you in my next video. Bye bye.